Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And first of all, I'd like to wish you a very happy Friday. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. So we're up with Panalisa again, but first of all I'm putting down my scruffy mat because we're going to use the scruffy mat today. I'm going to do some inking, and I want to use this set here that is from the Monday haul. I've actually measured these do fit ATCs, and that's what we're going to be using. So I'm using my die from the ATC set that I designed, which is a layering and folder, and even an ATC coin set. Now Surprise Creation was the one who had my design to do these, and I don't know what's going on with Surprise Creation. She's been very quiet, you know, and she does make some stuff sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Eiffel Store to do this set for me, because every time it was shown on Surprise Creation's page it was always sold out. So I don't know why she stopped making it. So it's such a great set that people had asked for, because you got all your storage and everything for your coins and stuff as well. So let's see if we can't revive it. But if you've already got my set, this is the largest of the ATC, so it's actual ATC size, and you'll know that you get two others in that set which allow you to layer up, but this one is the big foundation ATC. Right, that was a mouthful. The next thing that we're going to be using is this set, which is a swatch set, but you could certainly use it as a bookmark because it's so big. That was also shown in the haul. So I'm going to move that out of the way because I've tried to be organised. I'm going to move the stamp for now. And I have done some die cutting. Right, we'll do the colour swatch at the end. So it cuts out, you get two different types of hole reinforcer. That one, I hope you can see, has got a score mark, so it will go up here and fold in half along the top, and you get 6 little bits that pop out which layer up for you. So you know, whichever way round that you want to have them, you can have them that way round if you want. And I think one of the great things about swatch things like this is it's a great thing to use, you know, in the autumn or even in the winter over the holiday period where you want to relax or just do some organisation. And it's not just for, you know, paints and inks. If you put down a water-based PVA adhesive onto each of these after you've cut them out, which doesn't take that long, then you can use it for swatching your makeup, your eyeshadows, your foundation, and even your nail varnish. So if you're somebody, you know, not like me who has beautiful nails, or you know, anything like that, then you can swatch all kinds of stuff like that too. But these are also great for reeling out your washi tape. You know, if you like to do a page where you want sort of like complimentary washes, or even get washi tapes out that you haven't used in a long while, and I know most of us have got hundreds of rolls, then you can colour coordinate them so that when you're doing planner pages or cards or any little book or album, you know, you've got a good selection of washi on view that all goes together. How's that? I'm just chuntering on this morning. So I'm going to move that over to the side, and I have cut out with my die 3 ATC cards. So we're going to actually do 3. Now I'm going to be using Versafine Claire. Let's get that the right way around. I'm going to be using that for my stamping, so I'm just going to move that over to my stamps. And for colouring, for these 3 ATCs, because ATCs, they don't necessarily have to be vintage, if you know what I mean. So I'm using Tumbled Glass, Shabby Shutters, which is a nice shade of green, and I'm also using tea dye. So I think I've already got my, yeah, I've got my tea dye foam on my blender, so I'm going to go with that one first. So I'm just moving these out of the way, and I hope I'm making sense. Because sometimes I just witter on and I don't even listen to myself. I sometimes see my husband just rolling his eyes, you know, bless him. Right, I'm just loading up, and we are using Distress Oxide. If you want more opacity, then just use regular Distress ink. But I'm going a little bit solid today, and I might just, you know, blend it out, get a softness. So there we are, white cardstock instantly transformed. If it's a bit blobby, it doesn't bother me. And of course, if you get ink on the back of an ATC, just glue another one on the back of it. Just double it up if you want something nice to stamp on. So hope you can see that. We're a little bit, ooh, and that's really nice. I like that. And then I'm going to do another one. And I'm not even going to bother that I've still got ink down on my mat. And this time I'm going to go with tumbled glass. So if I get a creamy shade in my tumbled glass, I'm okay with that. As everybody knows, I think, I store all of my ink pads in these tubes that screw together and stack. Because my blending foam stays nice and juicy because it's locked in there. And oftentimes I don't even have to ink my tool up because the foam is just ready to go. Ooh, got lots on there. So let's get that up and blend that. I apologise for wobbly camera and everything else. Let's get that bit off there. Actually picked up my fingerprint. So nice little colour collection to do a couple of index cards. Now the next colour is going to be my shabby shutters, and I don't mind if I'm getting blue in there. So I'm picking up my shabby shutters just like that, so that you're not getting anything all over your hands. Get my shabby shutters ink, get that all juiced up, and then I'll colour this one. Ooh, what have you all got plans for the weekends? We've got lots and lots of rain coming here. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. The garden really needs it. But I've done my sowings and plantings of lots and lots of things. So now we've got that lovely shabby shutters. Right, I am going to clean my mat, get the platform, and I will be right back. Right, so I've tidied up and I've put my stamp platform down, and this is the stamp that we're using first. This is the line stamp, and I'm going to do two like this, and then I'm going to do one with a grid. So I'm just going to push that into my corner. Now I always use this fun foam from Walmart because I just really like it. It kind of gives a cushioning and almost a perfect stamp every time. So what I want to do is obviously get my stamp in there straight. Now I'm actually going to pick this up to look at it because I want to make sure that I've got an even border, and I can't always see what's going on. Right, I think that is straight. So I'm going to go there. I'm not going to use the magnet because I've got it pushed to the corner. And I'm going to pick up my stamp. And as I said earlier, I'm using VersaFine Clair because it just gives a really lovely fine image. Well, this one and VersaFine are two of the nicest black inks as far as I'm concerned. I do use other ones, you know, that are waterproof, like Ranger Archival and whatnot, but it's not as nice a black as the VersaFine. Right, so I'm pretty sure I've gone down there. I'm just going to give that a press. And of course the nice thing about a platform is if it hasn't all stamped, you can just go down again. Now this should be a little bit vintage and wibbly looking at the design. So we've got our little stamp bit there. So you've got that lovely wobble on the edge. And I'm going to do another one, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be blue, so I'm going to go with my blue one next. And then on my tea dye one, I'm going to do the grid. I do love stamps like this. I can just play with them for a very long time. And of course, if you've got all your colours of ink out, you can make yourself lots and lots of different colour index cards and just, you know, pop them away until you need them for your journal or what have you. I'm going to push that again. I think my ink might still be a bit wet, you know, my oxide, but that's okay because I'm not going for perfection. Right, and now I'm just stretching across the desk, and I've got that grid stamp, so I'm just using the fact that I can see at the moment and line that up. And go up to the top, and I think that's about it. And these are a little bit, you know, sort of vintage wibbly, so don't worry about the perfection of them. I thought I'd just put my elbow in the ink pad then, but I hadn't. Now, one of the things that I did do yesterday when I was a bit bored, hubby was watching the football, was I used that Christmas stamp that I showed in the haul, and I did stamp colour, whoops, I'm hitting the camera now, and cut out a couple of those, so I might use a couple of those on one of these. There, that's absolutely fine for me. I'm going to take that off. Right, I'm just going to pause while I move everything. Okay, so I've tidied up. Here's what we've stamped. We've got the grid one there, and I think I'm going to use the blue one for my Christmas. So I'm going to stamp December on that one, and I've already got that stuck to my block. And I'm using VersaFine Clair again, and why I just moved it, I don't know. So here we go. Right, I'm hoping that you can see. And I hope I got that on a little bit straight, but if it's not, it doesn't bother me. But I've got December on there. And from what I stamped and coloured, I'm going to have my little gingerbread and my little candy cane. So I'm just going to glue those down on there because I think that just looks really cute. I did use my Touch New alcohol markers that I get from AliExpress to colour these in. And I'm going to go off the edge with my little gingerbread man. But you've got enough room there, you know, to make a couple of notes for your journal. And I have to tell you, this Christmas stamp set is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm decorating the bottom. So I've got that on that one. And I just think that looks really sweet. That's what I mean, when you get stamps like this, you can spend hours using them because they turn out to be so much fun. And I think I'm going to stamp 25, so I'm just pulling off my 2 and my 5. And I'm turning my block around just to make sure I haven't got anything upside down or the wrong way around. And I don't believe that I have. So I've got my 25 on there, and that looks okay. Now you could, if you wanted to, use red ink. In fact, I think I will. Just hang on a second. Okay, so if I move that up there a little bit, I'm using Stays On St. Valentine. I've had these for a number of years and they do stay quite juicy, but of course one of the things you have to remember when you're using a solvent ink like this is that your stamp may be permanently red, but I'm okay with that. And my two stuck, so there we go. It is not perfect by any means, but I really like that. How quick was that? I'm going to put a little bit of black around the edges. This is one of those blending tools that I always keep on my desk, and you can see how worn out that one is because I use it the most. Just to add a little bit of something. And there is really pretty snowflakes in this set as well, so you could certainly, you know, stamp a few of those into the background. So there's our, ooh, let's have a look. That's that little stamp. So there's our first little index card, and I think that's really sweet. And then for the next one, I think I'm just going to, can you see all those bits that just fell off it? I need to replace my foam, and I should because I've got enough of them. I'm going to use the pointy hand. Yeah, why not? I can never decide which way I should have a pointy hand. I think I should have it there. Yeah, that looks good to me. I'm just going to pop these back and then I'll have to clean them off after. I'm going to have my pointing hand right there. So I've got a pointy hand, and I'm also going to have a typewriter. No, actually no, I'm going to have things to do, which is this one. Now you do find that some of these stamps can be fixed down quite firmly. Just take your time so that you don't tear them, and they do come off. And also another good thing to do is to prime your stamp, and people do it in many different ways. I'm somebody who likes to use black Stays On, and then I just don't clean them, and then it usually sort of like it does something to the surface of the stamp, kind of makes it matte and a little bit roughed up so that your ink sticks to it eventually. Right, so I'm going to leave that as things to do. So I've got my Christmassy one, and then I've got this grid one, and so I'm trying to think what I can use for that. Let's have a look. If I flip this over, I've got photo album. I think I'm just going to go for a typewriter at the bottom because that's another stamp. And I think I'm going to use the question mark. And I'm actually looking at the clock, so I think what I'm going to do is come back on Monday with that that swatch. So I've got my little vintage typewriter, and now I'm using my question mark. Ah yes, the good old days of typewriters. I used to have a really old one. I think I'm going to use the word what. Because it might make quite a nice index card for something that I find in the garden and I haven't got a clue what it is. So I'll put an image of it there, and then when I've got time, I've got a kind of reminder to go and investigate what on earth it is. So I'm just going to go what. Right. Okay, I apologise for that. That took a little bit longer than I expected, actually. But we've done 3 fun little index cards, and I'll be up with that colour swatch on Monday. Right, have an absolutely awesome weekend. I thank you so much for joining me today, and as usual, all links below. Bye.